Use just these two words and she'll start to crave your presence. Female psychology revealed. If you've ever felt like you were doing everything right, yet the connection suddenly went cold, understand this. The problem is that nobody ever taught you how attraction actually works. Women have a highly sensitive social radar. They pick up on micro expressions, shifts in tone, and subtle pauses faster than conscious thought. This is where most men fail. They perform, they follow scripts, they try to control every impression they make, but a woman's nervous system detects that performance, not as danger, but as something untrustworthy. This is where emotional congruence comes in. When what you say is perfectly aligned with who you are, that's when attraction begins to build naturally. The first word you need to master is interesting. But don't use it as a shallow compliment or filler. Use it as a reflection of genuine curiosity. Imagine a woman shares an opinion you don't fully agree with. Most men do one of two things. They either agree immediately to avoid tension, or they shift the conversation back to themselves. Both responses signal insecurity. A grounded man responds differently. He pauses, looks her in the eye, and says, "That's interesting. Tell me more about that." This does three powerful things at once. First, it shows you're not threatened by her perspective. Second, it shows you have your own center. You can hold her view without losing yourself. And third, it shows presence. You're actually engaged. When a woman feels genuinely interesting, not because you're trying to impress her, but because you're truly paying attention, she begins to associate you with that feeling of being seen. While most men try to be impressive, the magnetic man chooses to be interested. Now, the second word, no. Not an aggressive no, not a cold no, a calm, clear, grounded no. Think about it. Think. When was the last time a man said no to an attractive woman without over explaining, hesitating, or softening it? Most men become yes men when they're attracted to someone. They agree with everything. They change their plans, their opinions, even their values just to maintain approval, but that doesn't create attraction. It destroys it. Attraction is built on a stable sense of identity. When you can say no calmly, you send a rare signal. You don't need approval to feel secure. This is non-reactive confidence, the foundation of real presence. Consider this. A man with options says yes when he wants to. A man with self-respect says no when he needs to. And that difference is everything. These two words, interesting and no, are not tactics. They are reflections of who you are. Interesting shows you're secure enough to be curious. No shows you're secure enough to have boundaries. Together, they create what women experience as authenticity. And that is the real source of attraction. You don't need years to develop this, you can start today. Be more curious in your conversations. Set small boundaries in your daily life. Say no without explaining yourself into exhaustion. Because boundaries aren't walls, they're structure. And structure creates respect. If this changed the way you see attraction, comment below. Which word do you need to practice more, interesting or no?